My name's Darren, and this is One for the Book. Alright, so I've got two things I want to accomplish in this video. First, I just want to show you week 4, the progress of the plants, and what I have to do to maintain them, because just like last week, the 3rd week, it rained the entire 4th week. I mean, just couldn't get a break. And it's getting to the point to where it's not beneficial to be in water this long. I wish it would just go ahead and dry up. And I looked into next week's forecast, and it looks like I'm gonna get a break. And we're gonna have sunshine, and it's gonna dry, and I am ready for that. The second thing I wanna explain in this video is pruning the tomato plants. I've noticed that they are growing, but they're getting very, very leafy, and I see a lot of sucker leaves starting to sprout, even honestly turning into a stalk. So we don't want that, and the reason you don't want all these suckers is because you'll end up with a big leafy bush with all kind of flowers, but 90% of them will not produce tomatoes. You don't want a big leafy bushy plant that doesn't produce tomatoes. You want this plant to concentrate on making fruit, and how it does that is not having as many sucker leaves and stalks coming out of every which direction. So I'm going to explain more about that. First, I want to show you all the work I've done in this wet, muddy mess. Alright, to the garden. Alright, so you can see this is the tomato plant. It's doing fairly well, and there's leaves everywhere, and that's a good thing when a plant is young like this. But if you can see this right, if you can take a look at this thing that I've got my finger on, what this is a sucker leaf or a sucker stalk. This right here will grow a main beam just like this. That's what this is. I let this grow because it was early in the season, but right here in the crook of a limb, right there in that elbow, one of these will sprout. And this is what they call a sucker leaf. You want to take this out, because if you don't take this out, what's going to happen is you're going to have this big tomato plant. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to have leaves everywhere, just unreal. But it won't produce the tomatoes that it should. Most heavy producing tomato plants that I've seen usually are not big and bushy, and they concentrate on growing the fruit instead of growing more stalks. So that's what that is all about. This is trying to grow more stalks, and look, we got some down here. Go ahead and get that out. And you're supposed to find your first yellow blooms like this and go beneath it. Anything beneath it, you know, is a sucker leaf. And here's one right here too. So that's going to continue to happen, and it'll let these bigger first beams grow bigger, their leaves will grow bigger, and it will get its photosynthesis through them, not through more stalks. Here's one down here. So it was loaded with them. This plant looks much different. It doesn't have as many bushy leaves everywhere. Now I do see one sucker here. I'm gonna go ahead and clip it. But this one is more ideal. This is what you really want. You want a young plant that has these young leaflets with no sucker leaves below the first flower. So this was the first flower, but we already got tomatoes. So it's concentrating on the fruit and not making more leaves. And anytime you see these little suckers, especially on a new plant like this, you just go ahead and either pinch them out or clip them out. And I'm going to leave this one alone. It looks good. It's already producing tomatoes. So this plant is fine. Much different from the ones that's in the garden that's just bushing out everywhere. But we're going to correct that problem, and we're going to have some heavy producing tomatoes, or just some tomatoes that's producing like they should. Even the cucumbers are doing quite well, and this is 2 cucumber vines planted in one planter box with a trellis, and you can see that there's little cucumbers everywhere. When cucumbers are grown off the ground, I notice they have a much greener appearance than growing them on the ground. So wherever the cucumber lays, the back side of it will be white because it doesn't get any sunlight. There's nothing wrong with it, but I just think when cucumbers are grown off the ground, they look much better. Okay, so you see this right here? This is a cucumber. So after it flowers and the flower dies, a cucumber starts to grow. So this is the cucumber. Here's a cucumber here. After that flower completely dies, that's when that cucumber starts getting its size. Alright guys, so that's just about it for the video today. Again, my name is Darren, and this is One for the Book. If you like content like this, please subscribe and like, and if you can, share. Alright, until the next video.